You know that feeling, right? That little pull towards a piece of chocolate, especially maybe after a tough day. We usually just think, oh, it's a craving.
Yeah.
Little treat. Maybe even feel a bit guilty about it. But what if there's actually more going on? What if that lovely indulgence isn't just, well, indulgent? What if it genuinely connects to your mental well-being? Today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, the surprising science behind chocolate, especially dark chocolate, and your mood, how sharp you feel, even how you handle stress. Our mission here is to really unpack the latest research, to move beyond just, tastes good, and explore how this amazing food might actually be a tool for your brain. Get ready for some pretty interesting facts, I think.
Absolutely. We're going to look at how these unique compounds in cocoa interact with your brain, your body, and really what the science, the recent studies are telling us about the potential upsides. It's kind of a journey into the chemistry of comfort, maybe clarity too.
Okay, let's get right into it then. We keep saying dark chocolate, not just any chocolate bar off the shelf. So what is it? What makes dark chocolate so special chemically? What's inside that gives it this power beyond just tasting nice?
Yeah, it really comes down to this incredible, almost like a natural pharmacy inside the cocoa bean, a really complex mix of stuff. The big players, the ones you hear about most, are things called polyphenols and flavonols. Now, these aren't just jargon. They're really potent antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents. To give you a sense of scale, some high-quality cocoa powders, they can have several times more antioxidant power than even green tea or red wine.
Wow, hold on. More than green tea. That's saying something.
It really is. It's a huge concentration of these beneficial compounds straight from the plant.
Okay, so polyphenols, flavonols doing the anti-inflammatory work.
Yeah.
But you said it was a complex mix. What else is contributing?
Exactly. It's not just one thing. Beyond those, you've also got, well, things we know like caffeine and theobromine. These can give you that quicker lift, affect energy alertness pretty fast. But then it gets even more interesting. You find compounds like N-acetylethanolamines. Bit of a mouthful, I know. But think of them as being really similar to something your own body makes called anandamide.
Anandamide. I've heard that called the bliss molecule.
That's the one. It's an endogenous cannabinoid, and yeah, it can have anxiety-reducing effects, maybe even a little euphoric. So you're getting a tiny bit of that from the chocolate. And then there's also phenylethylamine. This is a natural monoamine. It's interesting because it helps your brain release more norepinephrine, dopamine, and acetylcholine.
Yeah.
And all three of those are absolutely vital for regulating your mood, for focus, just general cognitive function.
Okay, wow. That really is a lot of serious chemistry going on in like a single square of chocolate. It makes me think, though, the type of chocolate, how it's made, that must matter hugely, right? I mean, a cheap candy bar isn't going to do all this.
You're absolutely right. That's a critical point the research highlights again and again. How the cocoa is processed makes a massive difference. For example, there's a common method called Dutch processing, where they treat the cocoa with alkali.
Right, I've seen processed with alkali on labels. Makes it less bitter.
Exactly. It smooths out the flavor, makes it maybe more palatable for some. But the downside is it can significantly slash the levels of those polyphenols and flavonols, the good stuff, which is precisely why you hear the recommendations for higher cocoa percentages, 70% or more.
Ah, okay. So higher percentage usually means less processing, more of those beneficial compounds are left intact. Makes sense.
Pretty much. Quality isn't just about the fancy label, it's about preserving that natural chemistry.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for, I think, most of us. We all kind of reach for chocolate sometimes to feel better, right? But is it real? Does eating dark chocolate actually improve mood? Maybe even help with feeling down or depressed?
Yeah.
Or is it just, comfort food effect, wishful thinking?
Well, the science is actually providing some pretty compelling evidence that goes beyond just perception. There was this large study in the U.S., a cross-sectional one, looked at over 13,000 adults, basically a big snapshot. And what they found was pretty striking. People who reported eating dark chocolate had significantly lower odds of reporting depressive symptoms compared to people who ate no chocolate at all.
Okay, lower odds of depression symptoms.
Yeah, and here's the really interesting part. They didn't see that same positive link with milk chocolate.
Huh? Only dark?
Only dark. And this was even after they adjusted for all sorts of other things, like how active people were, smoking, income, even total sugar or calorie intake. It really points towards something specific in the dark chocolate itself, not just the sugar or the act of eating something nice.
So it's not just a momentary sugar rush making you feel good for 5 minutes. It sounds like it could be deeper, maybe more sustained?
Exactly. And other studies back that up. They suggest it's more than just that immediate hit. For instance, a randomized double-blind study, the gold standard, really took healthy middle-aged folks. They gave them a high dose of cocoa polyphenols every day for 30 days. Compared to a placebo group, the polyphenol group reported feeling significantly more calm and content.
Over 30 days, so it built up.
It built up over time, yeah, which again suggests a genuine physiological effect on mood regulation, not just a quick fix. And then there's the stress angle. Another controlled study looked at medical students talk about a stressed group.
Oh, yeah.
They had them eat 40 grams of either dark or milk chocolate daily for 2 weeks. Both groups showed a significant drop in perceived stress scores. Interestingly, the effect seemed particularly strong in the female students in that study. But crucially, a group eating white chocolate, which has no cocoa solids, right, they showed no stress reduction effect at all.
Ah, so it really isolates the cocoa component again. The dark in milk works, the white didn't.
Precisely. It strongly suggests that the cocoa itself can actually kind of buffer the body's response to stress signals, help you feel a bit more resilient.
That's fascinating, a direct impact on stress response. But I wonder, is it only the chemicals doing the work? Or does the actual experience, the pleasure of eating something delicious, play a part too?
That's an excellent question. And the research actually suggests it's probably both. It's an interplay. While those compounds are clearly key, some studies do indicate that for the mood boost to really happen, the chocolate needs to be, well, enjoyable. It has to taste good to you.
Right, makes sense. Can't just be like taking medicine.
Exactly. The experience matters. It seems to be a holistic thing, the powerful chemistry working together with the simple psychological satisfaction of enjoying something pleasant. It's the whole package.
Okay, so we've got mood, we've got stress reduction, grounded in these molecules in dark chocolate. Does this translate into how sharp we feel? Our focus, our brain actually performing better? What's the link to cognition?
Yeah, the cognitive side is just as intriguing. This is where some of the deeper effects really show up. There was one randomized study, 4 weeks long, again with healthy middle-aged adults. They found that regular dark chocolate intake significantly reduced both mental and physical fatigue.
Less tired mentally and physically.
Right. And this wasn't just a side benefit. The researchers identified this fatigue reduction as a mediating factor, which basically means by making people less tired, the dark chocolate indirectly led to improvements across the board in executive function, memory, even social functioning.
So it wasn't like eat chocolate, remember more stuff instantly. It was more like eat chocolate, feel less drained, therefore your brain works better.
You got it. It boosted vitality, mental health, which then cascaded into better cognitive performance overall. It cleared the way, so to speak.
That's a really powerful indirect effect, like clearing the mental fog. Are there more direct impacts too? On focus, maybe?
There seemed to be. Another study, this one looking at immediate effects, an acute study found that consuming high flavanol cocoa led to quicker and bigger oxygenation responses in the frontal parts of the brain during a challenge.
More oxygen to the brain.
Faster and more of it, yeah. Essentially, it improved what's called cerebrovascular reactivity, how well your brain's blood vessels respond when you need more resources. And this improved blood flow translated into better cognitive performance. But here's a really key detail.
Okay.
The improvement was most obvious when the cognitive task was really demanding, like complex problem solving or tests designed to really push your mental limit.
So it helps most when your brain is already working hard, when you're really concentrating on something tough.
Precisely. It's not necessarily a general boost all the time, but more like extra support when the demand is high. Targeted help, if you will. And what's also fascinating is they found individual differences. People who showed the biggest improvement in brain oxygenation. They also got the biggest cognitive benefits.
So some people might benefit more than others.
It suggests that, yeah. Particularly, it hints that maybe individuals whose brains aren't quite as efficient at baseline, maybe their vascular reactivity is a bit lower to start with, they might actually get more benefit, kind of bringing their performance up.
Interesting. Sort of levels the playing field a bit.
Potentially, yeah. We need more long-term studies to see if it causes direct structural brain changes. But these effects via reducing fatigue and boosting oxygen flow, they're quite promising for mental performance, especially under pressure. But again, I have to stress we're talking dark chocolate here, high cocoa content. Usually 70% or more is where you see these kinds of concentrations of flavanols. Milk chocolate just doesn't have the same punch in this regard.
Okay, this is all sounding fantastic.
Yeah.
A pretty good reason to enjoy some dark chocolate. But how do we approach this sensibly? We can't just live on the stuff for brain health, right? What should we actually look for at the store?
Yeah.
and how much is, enough?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer really is moderation and quality. Always. When you're looking at labels, aim for dark chocolate that's 70% cocoa or higher. That's a good general guideline. And look for minimal processing. Fewer ingredients is often better. Ideally, you want to see cocoa mass or cocoa liquor listed first, maybe some sugar, cocoa butter. Be a bit wary if sugar is the very first ingredient, or if there are lots of artificial sweeteners, or too many emulsifiers like soy lecithin. These can sometimes counteract the benefits or aren't great for your gut microbes.
Right. Keep it simple.
Pretty much. And remember that Dutch processing we talked about? Cocoa processed with alkali. If maximizing those antioxidants is your goal, try to avoid that if you can find options without it. Oh, and one more thing, darker chocolate does mean more caffeine. Just something to keep in mind if you're sensitive, especially maybe later in the day.
Good point. So it boils down to making smart choices, paying attention to the label, and really savoring it, not just mindlessly eating it.
Exactly. It's about appreciation, mindfulness. There aren't official guidelines saying eat X grams for brain health, of course, but the studies we've discussed, they often use pretty small amounts, sometimes just 12 grams, maybe 20 grams a day. That's only a square or two for most bars.
Just a square or two.
Yeah, it's really about savoring rather than scarfing, as they say. And remember, beyond the mental stuff we focused on, good quality dark chocolate also gives you things like fiber, which your gut bacteria love, plus iron, magnesium. There's research linking it to better gut health, potentially heart health benefits, cholesterol levels, maybe even skin health, and reducing type 2 diabetes risk. It's quite the package.
Wow. This deep dive has really, really shown that dark chocolate is way more than just a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
It's genuinely a complex food. Tangible, science-backed benefits for mental well-being, for cognitive function, mostly thanks to those powerful polyphenols and flavonols.
Yeah.
It really makes you think differently, doesn't it? How simple indulgences, if chosen wisely, can actually be part of a well-informed, balanced approach to health.
Absolutely. And look, if this chat has made you curious about exploring the amazing world of chocolate more deeply, learning how to really taste it, appreciate the diversity, find joy in it without any judgment, we'd highly recommend checking out Stell Tracy from 37 Chocolate. She's a fantastic chocolate sommelier, really focuses on the joy of discovery, making everyone feel comfortable exploring amazing flavors. Her whole approach is wonderful.
That sounds great. And sort of on a related note, if you are finding yourself struggling with stress or feeling down or facing other mental health challenges, remember that understanding yourself, your own unique patterns and needs, that's always the crucial first step towards making positive changes. Our practice, Edward Jenny and Associates, offers psychotherapy and also collaborative assessments. These can really help you get deeper insights into maybe behavioral triggers, relationship difficulties, things like that, and ultimately find effective ways to move forward. We really believe in using a scientific approach, but with empathy to help you see your best path forward. Understanding how things like diet fit into the bigger picture is part of that whole person view. So here's a final thought to leave you with. Consider this that simple act, mindfully savoring just a small piece of high-quality dark chocolate. Maybe it's more than just a fleeting moment of pleasure. Maybe it's a deliberate small action you can take to actively enhance your daily well-being, maybe even sharpen your mind a little, if chocolate holds these surprising keys. What other everyday moments, everyday things, might hold similar connections to our health if we just took the time to understand them a bit better?